Let's look at the unique bird's eye view trap. And this trap comes in the bird's opening, which starts with f4. Black plays knight to f6, white plays knight to f3, and now black plays d6 in order to take control of the square, which is taken over twice by white's pieces. In order to solidify the control of these dark squares, white plays b3 so that he can fianchetto his bishop on this diagonal. But here white attacks the center with e5. Pawn takes pawn, knight takes pawn, and it looks like that black has simply lost a pawn for nothing. But hey, that was a trap that white has just fallen into. Because though black is down in material by 1 point, but now he can get quick development and initiative in the game with the move bishop to d6, attacking the knight. Knight moves to f3, and now black can play knight to g4, putting a lot of pressure on this h2 pawn. Why is this h2 pawn so important? Now you must be thinking that this pawn is well guarded over here. But do not forget this weak g3 square, because currently it's being guarded only by this pawn over here. So if this pawn falls, then white would immediately get checkmated. So if white is not careful over here and plays h3 in order to attack this knight over here, then he quickly loses to bishop g3 checkmate. Let's go back. So what should white play here? If he plays a random move like a3, then black can immediately gobble up this pawn and white cannot take this knight over here, otherwise he is quickly losing. Let's go back. If he takes it with the knight, it's the same case again. It's a checkmate. So therefore, white cannot play a random move over here. But what he can instead try is to counter-attack black's pieces. So he might play bishop b2, attacking this weak g7 pawn over here. But in that case, black can fearlessly capture this h2 pawn over here. If knight captures the bishop, then our queen can jump on this weakened diagonal and give a check. White has to block with g3, but this pawn also falls off and it's a checkmate. So let's go back. So white cannot capture this bishop with his knight. What if he captures with his rook? Well, in that case, you can simply capture the rook back and be up in material by 2 points. And white cannot afford to capture this knight here because of this checkmate that you have already seen. So let's go back. So instead, what he can try to do is play a counter-attacking move by capturing your g7 pawn over here and thereby attacking your rook in the corner. But in that case, you simply play queen to d6, eyeing this weak g3 square over here in order to checkmate the white king. White cannot make the mistake of capturing this rook, otherwise he loses the game. So therefore, he might play bishop to e5, attacking our queen, and this bishop is now protected over here. But instead of playing any defensive move, black can play knight takes knight check, removing the defender of this bishop. And now it doesn't matter with which pawn white captures back, because after the capture you will simply get a bishop for free. And here we have reached a situation where you are technically up in material by 4 points, and this should be an easy win for white. Now you must be thinking that hey, we are threatening two things over here. We are not only threatening to capture this trapped rook in the corner, but we are also threatening to checkmate the white king on the g3 square. So we are not up by 4 points, but we will get more material because white would not be able to defend these 2 points. But hey, there is a very smart move over here that white can play, and that can solve both of his problems. And that move is d4, blocking this diagonal for the queen, counter-attacking the queen, and also providing an escape square for this white king. Queen can now move to g5, and now it's a completely winning position for black. Do like this video and subscribe to my channel if you are enjoying this video. And now I know you must be thinking that only a fool would start his game with a bird's opening, because why would someone like to weaken this king side diagonal? Well, sometimes players choose to play this opening because they want to set up a trap as white pieces. So the trap that they have in their mind is f4, d5, e4, attacking the center, pawn takes pawn, and now knight to c3, attacking the pawn. Black defends with knight to f6, and now queen to e2, double attacking. Black defends with bishop f5, and now queen b5 check. Black has to save his bishop, so he plays bishop d7, counter attacking the queen, and now queen takes pawn. And here, if black wants to play with an advantage in the game, then he should play knight to c6, revealing defense to this trapped rook. But a lot of players over here choose to play a normal looking move like bishop to c6, which attacks the queen and also saves the rook. But this normal looking move unfortunately loses game for black, because white can now play bishop to b5, pinning this bishop to the black's king. if black tries to protect this bishop with his queen, then white can simply play bishop takes bishop, pinning black's queen to the black king. And if black captures the bishop with his knight, then he loses the rook. Black cannot block the check with his queen, otherwise he loses this knight over here. So he has to block with his knight. And now queen eats the pawn, and we have reached a situation where white is up in material by 6 points, and it's an easy win for white. So let's go back. So black cannot capture this bishop with his knight. What if he captures this bishop with his queen, counter-attacking the queen and also providing defense to this rook? But this horrible move simply loses to queen c8 checkmate. And now here is the question of the day for you. Black is up in material by 4 pawns, and in overconfidence he makes the mistake of playing bishop to e3, attacking white's queen, but that immediately loses. Can you tell me how? Let me know your answers in the comments box, and I'll see you in the next video.